Welcome back. Today we will be answering questions that were sent in by customers. Here is an overview of our cash crop operation.
For corn, we use conventional tillage. Usually we have a primary tillage pass the previous fall, and then some secondary tillage, something like field cultivator in the spring. We like to grow 91 to 98 day corn, and we treat our corn like a big test plot. We incorporate a PKP plot in our corn, which is a product knowledge plot from Pioneer. It gives us a chance to really be the first ones to see these new products, see how they're going to perform on our ground, see what we think of them from a stature standpoint, yield standpoint. With our soybeans, we like to no-till the soybeans. We tend to grow group 06 to 07 soybeans. Our intention is to follow those soybeans with winter wheat. We also treat the soybeans like a big test plot. We put all the newest varieties we can in. It gives us a chance to see these varieties before we market them. It gives us an idea of what the disease package is, what the canopy width is, how they handle a no-till situation, and we take them to yield, so we see which ones at the end of the day produce the most. Our intention following soybeans is to put winter wheat in the ground if harvest allows. If harvest does not allow, then the following spring we'll plant spring wheat, and our wheat's also no-tilled. We traditionally don't put a plot into the wheat, but we do really like to follow the wheat with a cover crop. Cover crops are becoming more and more popular in our area. It gives us a chance to see different cover crop blends and which ones work the best in our situation. This year we used a mixture of oats, mustard, and radish, and our goal really is to give back to the soil.
Here's Brent Vandenbosch with a question for our agronomist Paul Hermans.
Well, Leeder Agriservices, with wheat going into the ground last fall in good conditions, going into the winter, winter has been great to it. Come springtime, how are we going to manage it and get the most economical yield that we can out of it?
Hi, it's Paul Hermans, area agronomist covering Eastern Ontario. And I want to say kudos to Braden Leeder. He's the son of Kevin Leeder, a young and up-and-coming agriculturist that's doing some videos. Got posed a question from a customer about, we got a lot of great snow cover out there. Our winter wheat hopefully is going to come through. What are some key things that I can do to make the best of my wheat crop coming into the 2021 growing season? So big thing I think is looking at stand establishment. When it's time to get out there and things start greening up, we want to see at least 7 to 10 plants per row of foot. And again, if it's later planted, I want to see the higher number 10, earlier planted wheat with lots of tillers, number 7. That's the key thing. Want to get as many tillers per square foot as we can, get as many heads, and really don't give up on those heads throughout the growing season to make them as viable as we can. So from a nitrogen standpoint, include some sulfur in there, seeing some results, especially from Southern Ontario, putting that in. And then I might want to do a split 60-40 or 40-60. Again, if I don't have much tillers, a little bit heavier to try and get more tillering effect, try and get more heads. If we have lots of heads, then it might be more of a 40-60 split. Definitely look at weed control, keeping the weeds under control early on to get the best that we can. And then for sure, a fungicide application, especially from a fusarium standpoint. So, harvest timing too, as we get more towards the timing standpoint here, don't leave it too dry. We got to watch that taking on moisture, drying, wet cycles, that type of stuff with our wheat, and ensure that we can get the best wheat. The more drying, wet cycles we get, we're going to have reduced test weight, and that's going to affect quality. So the big thing is scout. We got granular insights, satellite imagery from above that can be handy to use to help us there. So I would encourage people to use that. And then you might want to look at maybe some tissue sampling in season. So don't give up on the crop. Again, we got a good cover of snow outside. It's all going to depend on that March, April timeframe, frost heaving, that kind of stuff. But I think our wheat overall looks great going into the winter. And let's have a great crop, keep it going here for the 2021 harvest season. Thanks a lot again for the video. Please share stuff. This is great. And kudos to Braden.
Gavin Spoor asks what a typical workday looks like at Leeder Agriservices.
Our typical workday is very seasonal. If we started in this kind of time frame, once we get to the end of March, we start deliveries of packaged product, which usually takes us to about the end of April. On the end of April, we start just-in-time treating and delivery of bulk soybeans, which usually takes us up until the middle of June. For the summer and into early fall, we do a lot of scouting and farm visits, just making sure all the products are performing up to expectations. Early fall, once harvest begins, we're busy with calibrations, weighing off plots, and assessing plots, followed by sales, which would usually start toward the end of October and last until Christmas time. From the new year until the end of March, we're doing follow-up calls and focusing on getting the warehouse filled up so we're ready for deliveries come March.
Bill Biker asks if there is any tightness of supply of any varieties, what are our most popular varieties for our area, and our expected delivery times in the spring.
Hi Bill, supply looks great this year. We don't expect any surprises, but right now we think supply looks really good. As far as the most popular corn families we deal with, 9188, 9608, 9301, 9535, those are a couple of new products that we really like the look of. On soybeans, P09A53, P09A62X, those are a fantastic bean, and they're going to be on a lot of acres this year. We are set up to begin deliveries toward the end of March. We're going to be coming to a farm near you.